This is the Hunt Quietly podcast. I'm Matt Ranella. All right, thanks for joining me tonight, fellas. The objective is to talk about my favorite hunting nonprofit, Hunters for Access. Talk a little bit about what we do. We're a new organization. We've been in operation 2-3 years, right, John Kuntz, our president of the Montana chapter?
3 years, I believe. We did some work previous to that, but officially 3 years.
And so, we're trying to grow this thing because we see access as a major issue in the hunting space. And we got some guys on from other chapters tonight. We're going to talk about how things are going with them and where they live, and talk about challenges, talk about whether we think it's working, talk about the future, maybe spend a few minutes differentiating ourselves from other nonprofits that you might consider supporting. That's the idea. So I got with me Jeff Hancock from our Kansas chapter, Chad Richards from our, what would we say, Central Montana chapter?
Western, Central, wherever you want to label us.
John and I are in the eastern part of Montana. And then we have Joe Gaff, who is the one-man show in Wyoming, despite intensive efforts to find him reliable help down there. And those efforts are ongoing. We're going to be continuing to try to find some folks to help Joe down in Wyoming because, folks, what we do is we support state-run access programs by showing appreciation to people that are enrolled in the programs, okay? And they got a great program in Wyoming called Access Yes. How many acres are in Access Yes, Joe? Come on, as the president, secretary, vice president, and volunteer board.
I think it's like around 3 million. I think.
Okay, 3 million, eye-popping 3 million acres.
We
got one guy down there showing appreciation to landowners.
Yeah.
So I thought we would start out just because I think it's kind of fun to talk about what's going on with other nonprofits, and I think it's I want us to have lots of support from the hunting community, and I think one thing that, and when people are trying to decide where they're going to spend their conservation and access dollars, it's good to differentiate the nonprofits so that people can pick the nonprofit that most aligns with their concerns and their values. So we did a podcast a while back about the National Wild Turkey Federation. I think it was podcast number 144, 145. And we talked about a lot of problems with that organization in terms of inaccuracies in their reporting, overstatements of their impacts, exaggerations in their financial statements, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't have any exaggerations in our financial statements, do we, John Kuntz?
No, none at all. I mean, it's
we only have, folks, one row and one column in our financial statement. It's give money to people, give gifts to people that are enrolled in state access programs to thank them for dealing with the hassle of providing public hunting. And that's our financial.
It all goes. That's where it all goes.
There's a lot of stuff with nonprofits putting stuff in the wrong columns, like a a lot of what belongs in the conservation and education column ends up in the advertising column. I've noticed. I was just doing a little digging on Ducks Unlimited earlier this week, and Ducks Unlimited every year they spend between $10 and $15 million on public service announcements. Okay. And that $10 to $15 million is recorded in their education and conservation column, not as opposed to their fundraising column. So I thought it'd be interesting to play. I already played this for you, John. Remember this a couple days ago? Yep. I thought it'd be interesting to play this for you folks and have you give me a sense of, we got to introduce you guys here. And we're going to get to that. I'm just doing my best to riff for a few minutes. I'm going to play this. I want to get your sense. Jeff Hancock from the Kansas chapter, Chad Richards from the did I already introduce you? Kind of. Okay. I did. Oh, I'm getting worked up, man.
The excitement.
Yeah. The nerves. So I want to hear what your take on. Maybe give me a percentage. I would like to each of you give me a percentage. What percent of this 30-second public service announcement would you attribute to advertising? And what percent would you attribute to conservation and education? Here we go. Ducks Unlimited.
Resonates. Wetlands provide for our basic needs, storing carbon, filtering pollutants, and absorbing floodwaters to protect our communities. Ducks Unlimited is the leader in wetlands conservation. Join our mission at ducks.org/wetland benefits and ensure these habitats continue to protect, purify, and nurture life for future generations. A public service from Ducks Unlimited.
All right, Chad, what would you say? What's the breakdown there?
Oh, I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like sponsored by Vanelli or something. I'd give them the benefit of the doubt and say 75.
75% education?
Like I said, it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
But I was expecting worse after listening to the CEO.
The lead up was a little biased.
Yeah, the lead up and the CEO podcast, I was expecting worse. I knew you were going to put me on the spot in the first one. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what the other guys say.
Could you hear it all right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Jeff?
90-10. I think it was 90% an advertisement, 10% maybe a little bit educational.
And John,
the whole pitch was join Ducks Unlimited. I mean,
yeah. I'm 70-30.
I mean, the part where it's like wetlands are good. I mean, I think people probably generally know that, but maybe not.
I don't know. I work with some contractors that just think wetlands are the worst thing.
No, you're right. You're right. There's probably a lot of people that think that just makes it harder to build a Walmart.
That's right.
Where are you at, Joe?
I don't know. I think 50-50. You hear that wetland stuff on so much other stuff that I don't know.
Okay, so maybe move 5 million over to the advertising. 50% over to the advertising. How about R3, John? How much should we spend on crowding out the existing hunting community?
Yeah, no, we don't. There's nothing spent on R3. I mean, that to spend money on R3, and it's almost funny to me that these organizations push that, because none of the organizations are really looking for any public access. So when they get all these R3 people lined up, where the hell are they going to put them? Where are they going hunting? I mean, they missed the point completely. It's like public access is probably the most important thing right now across the board when it comes to hunting. Everybody wants to use the word conservation. Well, we've got the best conservationists on the planet. They're called farmers. And when we treat them with respect, landowners respect farmers, ranchers, and you gain access, I mean, to promote R3 solely with no place to put these people, yeah, we don't spend any time on that.
Okay, enough maybe with that, all that stuff about with the prelims. We're going to jump in now and talk about where we are with Hunters for Access. So I'd like to go around and get an update from each of you on where you're at with your program, what you've accomplished in the last, I guess we'll say in the last year. And maybe because I didn't prep you guys or give you an outline of what we're going to discuss, and you just graciously decided to come on without even knowing what the agenda was, that maybe John and I will start, so that way it'll give you a minute or two to collect your thoughts. So, John.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Hunters for Access this year, we raised, I do a fundraiser every year. It's a pint night at our local brewery. I think we raised $7,000 or $8,000, which is about the normal for us, but I do it all with local donations from local businesses. Some of those businesses actually give us gifts to give away. Some of them give us items to raffle off. The support from this community has been huge. And there's some other things I'd like to try to do to raise some money for this. But once again, all of our money goes directly back into the Montana Block Management Program. And we've had some other companies step up to the plate. We got a camouflage company last year. Was that $50,000 worth of merchandise he laid out?
Oh, it's really, they're a backpack company.
They're a backpack company, but they put out
Mystery Ranch backpacks, folks, stepped up huge. And that had nothing to do with Hunters for Access. They just, like us, decided to thank landowners for being enrolled in the block management program, our state access program, and donated $50,000 worth of backpacks. There might have been some other merchandise in there too.
Yeah, there was there was a whole bunch of stuff, but I think that got spread throughout all 7 regions in the state, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe
it did. Yeah.
And the landowners loved it. We're really, I feel, gaining a lot of thanks to our group from landowners. We actually had one landowner in Region 7 that got out of block management for a few years, came back in. He was at one of the banquets this year, and he had commented and made reference to some of the projects we had done around the area. And that's another thing we do. We don't just give away gifts. We also some projects for local ranchers. They need a barn painted or a barn door repaired or fencing done, or we've done mowing pastures, shelter belts, like I say, fencing work.
This year we've done 4 work projects, I believe.
Yeah, and I've got a couple more I'm going to do this fall that are little ones, but the spirit is honestly to show a great deal of thanks to these people that that are allowing public access, and it's so important. And I want to say that my goal is to see the block management program be competitive with the outfitting industry. And it can happen. I believe it can happen. Some of these outfitters for a 10 or 15 section ranch are paying $10,000-$15,000. And that varies, of course, based on ranch size and so on. But I think we can be competitive. I think we can be competitive with the other industry people that are outfitters and the land lease companies, and we can be competitive with them, and we can grow this thing. And the more and more other states come on board, Wyoming is important to me. I'm so grateful that you guys are doing that down there.
You guy.
Yeah, but like I say, the more the word gets out, the more the spirit becomes alive, and I think this thing can get huge. And we have to remember, the only way we get what we want is through involvement. If you're not going to be involved, then you really got nothing to complain about when you have to get your wallet out and pay for access. I mean, it's crazy to me, but we spend, you buy a gun and you buy camouflage and binoculars and a cooler and stickers for your truck and all kinds of neat shit. And at the end of the day, you spent God knows how much. And then, by the way, you got to pay to get in to go hunting now, which brings us back to the R3 thing, because that's where that all comes about. And it's like, we need to get together. And I think it's, well, just in the last couple of years, look at this group of gentlemen here and some that aren't with us tonight. It's growing, and that's where I want to see it go. I think it's a great program, and it's really important that the public understands that when they use these public access properties, that they absolutely respect them like no other. It doesn't matter if it's state-owned, federal-owned, or if it is a private-owned piece of land. It's a privilege to be there. It's not a right. And we better start treating it as such.
All right, thanks. How about let's go with you next, Joe. Tell us what you've done the last year.
So I want to coattail off of what John was saying first. I have one of these ranches down here. I don't know if you guys know there's a landowner coupon on the Wyoming tags.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're supposed to, in the walking areas, you're supposed to hand that in the box. I have a couple ranches down here that have not gotten any coupons last year. They can go count the gut piles on their land and get no coupons out of it. So it's like, that's one thing I'm...
Hold on, what's this now with the coupons? What?
Do you know the landowner coupon, like the part of the tag you're supposed to sign? I don't know if Montana has it.
No, we don't have. You're gonna have to break this down like
like you're for.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you get a Wyoming tag, whether it's a draw, it's one of the corners. I forget if it's left or right, but
what?
You're supposed to sign it.
You got to go back. Second grade.
The corner of the tag is a landowner coupon. You're supposed to sign
you're saying when you go to hunt on Access Yes land, you give the landowner a coupon?
If you fill that tag off of private land, period, it don't matter.
You're hunting. You fill your tag on private land.
Yeah, say I came and filled it on your land, I would give you the landowner coupon. You can turn that into the state and get $20.
Oh,
wow! I think it's 20. It might be 18 or something. It's somewhere around 20.
Okay, so is that in addition to some other payment they get for being enrolled in Access Yes, or is that
not like the landowner I go to shoot whitetail does off of because he wants his whitetail numbers down? That has no.
Okay, any landowner.
Yeah,
any landowner. Okay,
he gets the coupon.
That's cool. I had no idea that was a thing. That's got to be. I bet that's the only. That's the only state in the union that's that way. Did you guys know about this?
I did. Yeah.
Well, you look at, like, I'll use that whitetail doe as an example. That doe tag only cost me $25. So if they give the landowner 20 or 18, whatever it is, it's like state ain't making shit off of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. So now that we have the essential preliminaries in hand, tell us the story you were going to tell us.
So basically, all these walk-in areas, they have a box that says landowner coupon somewhere. And I have a couple guys down here that, like, the one told me that he counted 12 separate gut piles last year and he got no coupons.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, so do people just not understand? Like, you guys didn't understand? Or, like, what else are you doing with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's criminal. It's
like
it'd be so easy.
That just goes back to my disrespect statement.
That's kind of why I said it in this little part here.
I love that
I'm
example.
Like, just that little bit, like, sign it over. You can't hand it in.
It costs you nothing.
Yeah, like, you can't hand it in and get the $20. So just sign it over, put it in the damn box.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna work on that a little bit. I honestly wonder that one ranch. I don't know.
Do you guys think that hunters are, like, as a cross section of society, less appreciative and respectful than other people?
Well, okay, you want to know why I started following you? Because are you talking about hunters like me that were, like, raised by, as hunters from, like, their dad, uncle, grandfather, or whatever? Or are you talking hunters that went out and bought a bunch of meat eater shit?
Yeah, I guess the reason I ask is because it's like there's a part of me that just hopes that hunters are the worst of the worst, because the stories you hear, it's like, man, I hope non-hunters aren't this disrespectful.
I'm going with exactly what he said. If you were brought up by your dad, your grandfather, and hunting, and that's what you learn to do. You learn to knock on the door, ask. You learn to go back and say thank you. You learn to go back and offer part of what you may have taken. You've gone back at Christmas time. You may have whatever. That class of hunter, I think, tends to be much better than the one that got suckered into an R3 deal because he saw a great picture in the doctor's office of this rich guy holding a deer and said, I want to do that, and had no direction into what he was doing. And I realize I'm stereotyping people, and that's not really what I'm trying to do here, but it is what I'm trying to do here, kind of. I think everybody knows what I'm saying, but I think there's definitely different classes of hunters. Now I think it's possible that some of these guys that come to hunting for the wrong reasons can learn that. And I don't think they're all that way, but man, we got some slimy bastards running around on our public land.
Matt, to answer your question, I don't think it's limited to hunters. I think it's a generational thing where people seem a little bit entitled more than they used to. And because of that, they don't have respect for what's put in front of them and the opportunities they have in front of them. They just expect them. And I can see it every day in what I do in my job. And my kids are in high school and I see it in kids. And I think
we got the guy talking now is Jeff Hancock from our Kansas chapter, folks. Sorry.
Anyway, I think it's a generational thing. I just think we're noticing it because of what the five of us like to do. We notice it in how it impacts us.
Yep.
But I do think it's like across the board impacting everybody in different ways. Just happens to be impacting us in a way that affects us that we don't like.
Yeah. So if this was a golf podcast, we'd be talking about how nobody yells for anymore.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Back to Joe Gaff in Wyoming. I just got reprimanded a little bit, or I got a little, not reprimanded. I got constructive criticism about when people listen to this podcast and we have multiple guests, they don't know who they are. So I got to do a better job of, differentiating people. So Joe, tell us about your efforts.
basically, I started talking to you like 2 years ago. I don't even know if you remember that.
I do.
Okay.
At first I was like, oh, this guy, he's just like everybody else. He's gonna
Right?
he's
And
gonna
then
just talk, and then he's not actually gonna do anything. And boy, was I wrong about that.
Like 6 Google Meets later, that didn't pan into nothing, and yeah. But
You turned out to be a producer.
yeah, hopefully. I don't know. But so what we're doing here, I did this kind of this plaque gift card thing. I don't know. I'm calling it a gift pack because I don't know what else to call it. I started out with the first 3 counties, Weston, Crook, and Campbell. Honestly, because that's where I live and that's where I hunt. So, you know, like just being a little selfish there. But we got Campbell's handed out. They got a plaque. Hunters for Access went and bought $50 gift cards from the local feed store. There was only 4 landowners in Campbell County. So we went and did that. Bighorn Tire came in and they gave 4 $50 gift cards. So they got those 2. They got $100 in gift cards, basically.
So everybody in Campbell County got $100, and every enrollee got $100 and a plaque thanking them for being enrolled.
Yeah, and like I said, there was only 4. It was a pretty easy county. I heard back from 2 of them. They loved the idea. The one was the one. I don't know if you remember me telling you this, Matt, but we had a guy that went in and shot up the water tank, like the solar.
Yep.
The entire water tank with like the solar thing. Somebody went.
So this was a hunter that was hunting through the Access Yes program and thought it would be a good idea to destroy the property.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we teamed up with, well, we didn't get involved in that. I didn't know about it in time, to be totally honest with you, but I teamed up with Wyoming Sportsman's Group to get these plaques. They basically paid for the plaques, and they were the ones that replaced that water tank. So it was kind of cool because I forgot about that, and I was talking to that landowner, and they were excited about it. They were glad that they replaced the water tank. And I said, well, why do we got to wait for something to get shot up before we just say thank you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were like, yeah, that was the first, that guy's been in walking for like 25 years. I think he's the first one in Campbell County. And he's like, yeah, nobody's ever like made the effort.
Walking is Access Yes. That's like a slang for Access Yes.
Well, it's different levels. So like you can do a walk-in or a HMA, and it's all considered Access Yes.
What's HMA?
Under management area.
Okay.
So like that, there's one up by Sheridan that like, if you draw that elk tag, it's just for elk. If you draw that elk tag, you got to buy a permit to get in that HMA for like, I don't know, $5 or whatever. And then you kind of get like these dates and you can go do that. So they're more like restrictive. You know what I mean? A walk-in is just kind of like, okay, is it open for this species, these dates? Go do it.
Gotcha.
So we don't have any HMAs in the first 3 counties I started with. Just, I don't know, that's just how it worked out. So everybody here is walk-in. So yeah, I kind of use the 2 terms.
Okay, so let's finish up the what you did in the other 2 counties, and then I got some other questions we're going to go around again. So
I was supposed to be off today, and I was going to go basically make up the packs for Crook County and maybe Weston. I haven't gotten them out or anything yet. So tomorrow I'm probably going to go buy the gift cards and do that. And then I don't know if I want to deliver it Saturday or I might wait a week, with it being Labor Day.
Yeah. So just a little bit of backstory, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what an Access zealot Joe is and how committed to the cause he is. If you've accepted, we helped you out with a few $100. Is that right? Or do we even do that?
You haven't actually given me any money.
We haven't given him shit.
Yeah.
Out of like the like, I guess, the national pool of money. He's raised all this money himself and in collaboration with the Wyoming Sportsman's Group to give these three landowners, or how many landowners in Campbell?
Four.
Four in Campbell, five
And
and
then-
well, actually 7 in Crook. 2 are out of state, but 5
And then
in
how many in
Richmond,
the third one?
14. So that's why I kind of left that one. Basically, I don't know how.
What do you mean left it? You left
I'm
it.
kind of saving it for last.
Okay, but are your needs met to go ahead and with the plaques and the gift cards there?
Plaques are ordered. The plaques are sitting in my bedroom.
Okay.
So that was what Wyoming Sportsman's Group, they did 25 for the whole 3 counties. I don't know how much details you want me to give, but
No,
guys-
we don't need to get into the weeds on it. Just the rough overview. And we're going to come back around. I want to talk about one question I have. I'll just lay out the agenda. We're going to talk about whether the evidence that this is working, and to me, working is encouraging people to stay in the program, telling their friends and neighbors, maybe encouraging other people to get involved in the program, building goodwill with access providers. That to me is what working means. And then I want to talk about the future, what your plans are as chapters for the future. And then I want to end by talking a little bit about fundraising, because I think that the hunting community should be helping us with this.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. So,
so out of the 4 I delivered, the one I had to leave because
are you gonna start into the is it working part?
You want me to, or do you want me to?
I want to do that in another round. Is that where you were going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Chad, break it down for us. Where are you at in western Montana?
So this is my second year. So we've done 2 years worth of projects. The first year we did one project, building some gates and blocking off some parking areas for a local ranch, old ranch in the Helena area. And then this year we did 2 projects, so we doubled our number of projects since the year before. This year we did,
that's like if we found Joe another guy, we would have doubled our volunteer staff.
Well, that was kind of what happened to me. I doubled my we'll call them board members here in Helena. I doubled my number to 2.
Oh, good.
And so we were able to do 2 projects. We went and fixed a bunch of fence for a landowner down by Townsend, and then we went and ripped out an old fence line at another ranch. And man, that was the one I worked on, and we were there from 8 to almost 5, and we ripped out 3/4 of a mile of old broken down barbed wire fence and stacked up fence posts. And
did you have volunteers?
There was myself and one of my close friends who I suckered into it, and then a volunteer drove up out of Bozeman and helped us.
Awesome.
So
that's great.
I wish we would have had more, but it is what it is. Summertime commitments and all of that. So
and that's just something we just got to work on more, is finding committed folks.
Yep. So I'm hoping we can build there. We did have a fundraiser. When was that, Matt? When that was that
was in May.
End of May.
Yeah, end of May. Yeah. We did a fundraiser, a pint night at one of our local breweries, and we did I think we raised like $1,200 or something. We didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
We had I had really good luck with Mystery Ranch donated another pack to that pint night for us. Schnee's stepped up again. They sent us a pair of boots for the national raffle last year, and then they sent me a pair of boots for my raffle. And then Matt, I feel terrible now, the guy that sent us the bow.
Oh yeah, too many names.
Oh man,
I can't help you there.
I feel so bad now because he'll probably listen to this. And I think he's out of Ohio here. I'm sitting in a hotel room in Ohio. And then a local guy there in Bozeman that makes tents and stuff. He sent us a little goodie bag of gear to give away. So we had a pretty good turnout as far as donations, and strangely enough, I don't know how it's been for everyone else, but getting donations has actually been the easiest part of this entire process for me anyway, which is it was very strange to me that I made a couple phone calls and people are saying yes right away, like yeah, we're going to donate. Where do we send it? So like that's been very encouraging that at least the local companies I've talked to have been very supportive of the organization. So that's been really uplifting for me.
That is awesome.
That's great.
Now it's how do we get the message out? So we're building slowly. Like I said, I doubled my board members this year, so I can spread out the work a little more now, so it's not just me. Since it's crazy, but yeah, so we're slowly building. I've been to the last two appreciation dinners here in Helena, which are great.
Yeah, let's would you break down what those are?
So here in Montana, we do appreciation dinners for the landowners every year, and they break it down.
And these are sponsored by Fish, Wildlife, and Parks,
yeah,
our game management agency.
Yep. So they're gracious enough to invite us, which has been wonderful. I get a nice prime rib dinner out of it every year. And being in Helena, I've been fortunate enough to meet the folks that run our block management organization, developed a pretty good relationship with our regional coordinator, and even our game wardens have been wonderful. I don't know how it is for you guys over there.
Game wardens.
The game wardens,
they have been our biggest allies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And on work projects and things like that, they're highly committed to what we're doing.
Always at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have one that he's called me and texted me several times. He's like, "Hey, I got this ranch. And it's like, man, I was like, I don't want to overpromise or overcommit and underdeliver. So I'd rather, it's like, all right, you guys are next year. Like, we're gonna get there, but he's got more work than I can take on, which is a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah,
but
we
we need more volunteers.
Yeah, well, let's keep working on that, and please remind me about that, because like I can make noise more about that. So Chad, let's.
Yeah, I need to do a better job of being out in front of it. Like this year, I want to try to do the pint night earlier and try to get things lined up in the spring before things get crazy with summertime. But
yeah,
we'll see how I do this year. Let's see if I can do better.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Jeff. Tell us what's going on in Kansas, where the program is called WEHA, Walk-in Hunter Access, and there's 900,000 acres in 1.2, right?
Yeah, 1.2, about 1.2 million.
Okay, yeah, fire away.
Yeah, so we had just a little bit of background. Well, first of all, I was amazed when Joe told me there's one county with 4 landowners. And I've always kind of wondered, I think you and I talked about this before, Matt, like your guys' block management program has about 6 million acres.
6.9 million acres.
6.9 million. And ours is 2 million, but probably about twice as many landowners involved, because they take in everything from, I think 80 acres is the minimum. And so there could be, and they'll even take less acreage, I believe, under special circumstances.
Oh, in Kansas, you got the right 5 acres. You're
right. Yeah. So we're dealing with a lot more landowners in Kansas. But yeah, the last year we had, and also we do not have like state sponsored appreciation dinners. So we've taken it upon ourselves to create appreciation dinners. And so I think we've had 5 so far across the state in the 2 years of our existence, maybe 4. I can't remember.
Hold on 1 second, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you making racket?
No.
Oh, somebody's making racket. Do you hear that?
No, I don't.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. Could be my dogs. I got 8 of them running around here. Yeah, they're itchy. Anyway, so we don't have a state-sponsored appreciation dinners. And so we've kind of taken it upon ourselves to actually create those.
There it is again.
Yeah, it's the dogs. I can tell.
Oh, okay. That's fine. It's ambient dog noise, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It is a hunting podcast. It's to
There
be
you go.
expected.
They're hunting dogs for sure.
Yeah.
So we've had, like I said, 4 of those appreciation dinners. And what we've been doing in the past is having them located in some different community in the state. And then with the help of the Department of Wildlife and Parks and their GIS system, drawing a circle around that community and inviting the landowners within a certain radius of that community to come to the appreciation dinner. And so we've had pretty good turnout. Most of them had about 30 different landowners at them, which I think is a pretty good turnout.
Oh, yeah.
We buy them, we do a catered meal, and then we go into the community and some of the surrounding communities and ask some of the like farm supply stores, auto parts stores to donate items. And then we collect all those items and then we give them back to raffle them off as gifts to the farmers and ranchers. So, and there's other things we do, like we get cash donations and we'll turn those into gift cards. I know, like our BHA chapters donated probably like a couple $1,000 to us, and we take their money and then give it off as raffle items and gift cards. So it's been really successful. The feedback we've gotten has been really good, from the landowners and from the department. The department loves our program. In fact, they have a program called FIWA, Walk-In Fishing Access, WIFA, Walk-In Fishing Access Program. So they have a similar program where they approach landowners that have ponds on their property about allowing access to come fish in the ponds. And then the state actually, I think, don't quote me on this, will help with actually putting fish in those ponds, like stocking them with bass and catfish, things like that.
Yeah, we have that same kind of program here. Ours is called the Ponds program, and it's exactly what you just.
Yeah. So now the program coordinator for that program has approached us about including them in our appreciation dinners. So we have a grand plan to do that. Our next appreciation dinner is planned for February 28th in a small town called Cimarron, Kansas, which is in southwest Kansas. And we're doing something a little bit different this time. We've done the regional invite, but it's kind of expensive because the only way to really contact these landowners, and keep in mind, like most of them are 65 plus, 80 years old.
Which is another problem.
Yeah, is by mail. And so we spend quite a bit of money, like just sending out invitations to some of these property owners and printing all of them and everything like that. So this year we were able to time it where for this next event, we're going to invite everybody statewide. And so everybody's going to get an invite, which is good because we have ran into a couple of issues where a neighbor got an invite, but the neighbor next to them didn't because they were right on the line. And then they call us like, why didn't I get an invite? And so, because they talk to each other. And so this year,
you're like, it's a redistricting thing.
Yeah. So this year, everybody that's enrolled in the program is going to get invited, and the invite will go out in December in the payments to the landowners that the state makes. So the state sends all their checks in
there
December,
we go.
And we're sticking our invite in an envelope, or the state is for us. So kudos to like our program coordinator. We have a fund here called the Wild Trust Fund, that it's one of those deals where when you buy your hunting license, you can check a box and donate $1, $5, whatever. And that's intended for access programs. And so we're using the that money. He's allowing us to use that money to do the printing and stuffing of the envelopes and everything. So we won't have like printing costs anymore. We won't have postage, anything like that. It'll all just go out and be done by the state, and it comes from the Wild Trust Fund.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I think so. I mean, that's kind of where we've been and where we are. We've polled the landowners about work days, and there's really just not, quite honestly, like a lot of interest in that. And if you look at the poll questions we ask and kind of read between the lines, you start to figure out there's some trust issues.
Very good. That's
so,
a good thing.
Yeah. And so I think the reason they're not
trust, meaning that they're afraid somebody might get hurt on their land.
I think there's some of that. I think there's some of that coming when you're not invited, maybe. And some of them have been through quite a bit. Their place has been trashed by a walk-in hunter or whatever, gate open or who knows. But there are some trust issues. At least that's what we can read between the lines. And so we really haven't done the work days because of that, just because there's not a lot of interest. What we have done is there was one landowner out in western Kansas. His property had a long access road to it that was not public, and people were driving down that access road, and he didn't really want people driving down that road. So we did buy some materials to build a gate for the Wildlife and Parks Department. They actually purchased the materials with our money and then ended up actually building the gate themselves. And the only reason we did that was because the state's purchasing policies are kind of funky, and they were gonna have to go through whatever rubber glove guy to get the money to actually get the materials and go be able to buy them. So we just bought them.
Gotcha.
So we bought them for them, and then they went and put the stuff up, and that was like, I don't know, $800 or $1,000. But so that's kind of the only work thing we've done. But the appreciation dinners have gone over really well. What I'm probably most proud of is I was just looking today in preparation for this. I think our income on the revenue side, given the money we've raised locally and the money that we got from you guys when we did the national fundraiser, I think it was about a year ago or so. I think and the items we donated, we've somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000 that we've been able to accumulate.
That's great.
But the better news is there's only $400 in our checking account right now. And I know that sounds weird, but that's because we've taken every dime of that and just put it right back in to benefit the owners that are enrolled in the program. So and that's kind of, it's a moment it's kind of a pride thing with me, just because when I did this, I wanted to commit to making sure that any dollars we raised went right back to the property owners. And that's exactly what we've been doing. If there isn't any kind of indirect money that hasn't gone back to them, it's just our postage cost. But meals, items we bought, gift cards, gate materials, everything's gone back to that to benefit those property owners.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So, evidence that it's working or not working, fellas. What do you hear from the recipients of our gestures?
So we're getting a lot of testimonials at these banquets. We've had a couple ranchers stand up and talk to the crowd about how thankful they were and the things we did. Now they couldn't hardly believe that we were actually doing it. I have heard some ranches say that they had entertained possibly leaving the program, but are going to stay because they've seen some thanks. There's some people are showing gratitude for what they've done. So yeah, I think it's going to grow. I believe it's going to grow. It's all about getting the word out and involvement.
Well, I'll tell you, like with the work projects, when you do a work project on one of these places, they are always extremely appreciative. They always want to take pictures and sometimes they'll post about it on Facebook that these guys came out and helped with this and that. And yeah, so and then when we go around at the Block Management Appreciation Dinners and say, hey, do you want to sign up for some help maybe next summer? You'll hear these landowners chatting amongst themselves saying, you guys should sign up. They came out and helped me last summer and it was awesome. So I do feel like with our efforts, they're starting to know us.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's starting to be part of these banquets is the Hunters for Access guys, and I do feel like when they are thinking about their involvement with block management, they're thinking part of their calculus is this group.
Yes, definitely. I'm hearing that in this area over here quite a few of them that are like, yeah, nice to see these guys were staying.
Yeah. And what did you see with your efforts, Chad?
Pretty similar. Like the project I worked on, the landowners were out there with us pulling fence.
Oh yeah.
And the whole day they were like, oh, we've been putting off this project for 10 years because we didn't want to do it. We didn't have the help. Kids are busy, et cetera, et cetera. And they were just so happy to have that fence line cleaned up. And the whole time they're like, oh, you really need to come out and hunt it this year, Chad. You need to come out. I'm like, I don't even hunt around here. Like, I'm 300 miles from here.
Yeah.
And I was like, one of my friends has a bull tag up here, but like other than that, it's like, yeah, I don't even. But super encouraging. They were super thankful, and they've been great supporters of block management. I think they told me they'd been in it for something like 28 years. Like they're getting close to that 30-year plaque.
So they've been in it since the beginning.
They've basically been in it since it started in Montana. And same with our other project. They've been in it since pretty much the very beginning is what they told me. They were super appreciative. That landowner actually came to our pint night. She was there. Buying beers.
That's right. I met her.
Supporting us. So, they've been super supportive. And the banquets have started to feel the same way. The first year it was like, oh, who's the new guy? But, this last year, getting to know all the game wardens and, the FWP people, and they're introducing me to new landowners and stuff and, really trying to get the word out. So, yeah, I think we've built a lot just in the, 2 years I've been involved. It's the knowledge and the awareness of what we're trying to do and the appreciation of that. And I'm looking forward to this next year to see, how that can blossom. Because now that we've done 3 different ranches instead of just one project, to see, how we can expand from there. And if we can get some more of these, because I think the other landowner that the game warden was telling me about, they're not involved, or I haven't met them at any of the banquets yet. So, and we've got a few other really big landowners in the Helena area that we would love to get more work on, or to be able to work on and help out, that really do a lot for the hunters in the Helena area. So, but we're getting there, but the feedback has been great so far.
Great. And Joe, you already touched on it a little bit with the plaques and the gift cards you've done. Anything more to add about how you feel it's being your efforts are being received there?
Well, I mean, I didn't get shot at, so I started out with the plaques and I basically just gave it. I didn't bother doing like a raffle or anything like that. And it was really to just break the ice. So, I mean, so far that seems like it's working. And that kind of came from Troy at Fish and Game, because he said they've tried to.
Troy is the game warden that administers part of the program there, right?
So every regional office has a Access Yes guy. Troy is the Sheridan office guy.
And a game warden, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you're game warden first, and then you move up levels, or however the hell that works. But and he goes, they've tried to throw just banquets and that, and the landowners don't show up.
Okay. It just
So
goes
that's
to
why.
show us every state's different, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean-
here I think they appreciate the work projects more than anything because we're talking about like expansive areas that have a lot of, require a lot of just manual labor. And then where Jeff is, the banquets are more useful.
So I think I'm a little different because you're a much more like egg-based community up there, where we're oil field down here. So that's why I said that about getting shot at. Like people aren't, they're not as tight down here. The landowners themselves are tight with landowners, but like I think they've seen a lot of these type of places, these type of organizations come and go.
right.
You know what I mean? So I think they kind of like, okay.
Yeah. There's some suspicion about
there's a little bit of like, yeah, you're doing this now, but 6 months from now, when you move back to, Michigan or whatever, you're not going to be here type thing, because that's what they've seen.
Hell no, Joe. You're a lifer.
I mean, yeah, no.
You're a Hunters for Access lifer.
Well, there's definitely not going back to where I was born. So, I kind of did that to break the ice like that, and it seems to be working. Out of the 4, I delivered the one I had to leave because nobody was around.
So ladies and gentlemen, Joe is so far, I don't know what your plan is with the other 2 counties, has been hand delivering these plaques and gift cards.
I mean, well, I got a couple landowners that don't live in the state, so they're just getting mailed and good luck. But right. But I had to leave the one. The one
you left it because they weren't there.
Yeah.
They weren't home.
I rang their little ring doorbell and then like left it in front of their door, and I hope they found it. The other one I gave to like what I'm pretty sure is like their grandma. She thought it was cool, but I haven't really heard back from them. And then the other 2 I heard back from, and they loved the idea. So that's kind of
yeah.
I'm kind of running off the 2 that I know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So I mean, that's just, I don't know. I did it a little different, I guess, because I didn't do the banquets and that. But I mean, I'm not going to do plaques next year.
Yeah, you'll do something else.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm
doing. And we're going to help you with whatever you decide to do. And damn it, we're going to find somebody, just some people to jump in and give a hand.
Now, I'll be totally honest with you with that part of it. Like, I had Atlas send me a new.
Atlas is our web designer.
Yeah, and he finally did send me after I asked him like 4 times because of Atlas.
He's a wayward web designer.
Yeah. Like the signups like that. And there was one new one on there that I missed, and it was in Casper. So we're sitting like 4 people in Casper right now that if somebody would just take charge on it, they could steal all my.
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's revisit that, you and I, and see if we can get.
Well, I was just putting that out there, so if somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I did 90% of the legwork on this damn thing, so but yeah, I mean that's kind of. I don't know. I feel bad because I can't expand it really, but then again, like I don't live. You know what I mean? I'm doing it where I live, so.
Oh yeah, you gotta with volunteer work in general. You gotta say to yourself, "This is I'm willing to commit myself to this piece."
Others will hear it and it'll pick up.
Yeah.
And
we just gotta keep trying to beat the bushes and find people that value access enough to actually get involved and do something. The next thing, the final agenda item, folks, is we're going to be trying to help all the chapters. So we got 2 chapters that aren't even represented in this phone call. We have the Minnesota chapter. Evan Curtin's the president there, and he couldn't join us tonight. And then we have a burgeoning North Dakota chapter. And the guy that's doing most of the heavy lifting there is Adam Miller, who's been on the podcast a few times. And so we want to start doing a better job of raising funds that we can distribute amongst all the chapters. And one thing we're going to be doing in the next year, I don't know, we've thought about a lot of different ways we could try to financially support all the chapters. And this is the best idea we've come up with, is we're going to start selling some merchandise, hats and shirts, bumper stickers, that sort of thing, and really try to promote the hell out of them and say, hey, look, you want to spread the word about Hunters for Access. You want to give us a donation to help raise funds, because what I'd like to do in my wildest dreams, it'd be to lower the fundraising burden on you guys so that you can more narrowly focus on, delivering for the access providers. So I guess if you have any, I just want to let you know that's coming, that with the podcast and our Instagram and Reddit and stuff, we're going to be doing our best effort we got a new shirt company, and we're going to be donating $10. These shirts, we're selling them at cost plus a $10 donation per shirt or per hat. And all of that is going to go to you guys to support what you're doing. And I'm always keen to hear about other ideas for raising funds, but that's what we're going to be doing to help support you guys over the next year.
I put 5 of them 10 posters we got up, and I don't know if they made a difference yet, but
so yeah, Joe is putting up some posters in Wyoming to encourage people to donate. And that's another thing I'd say, if you're a listener to the podcast, if you care about public access, this is the most transparent nonprofit you're ever going to encounter. You give us money, we turn it into appreciation gifts and work projects and deliver that to access providers. That's what we do. So I encourage you to go to huntersforaccess.org and make a contribution.
Public awareness is getting the word out there. And Chad, as we sit here and do this, I'm thinking about, so every community has a radio show. It always seems to be based on a Saturday or a Sunday, and it's about the opener of fishing or the Governor's Cup fishing or different reports and this and that. And so in Montana, we have one called the Outdoor Radio Show, and these guys are on every Saturday. And it even affects, I think, Wyoming, because obviously there's some Wyoming people that listen to it. But
do you listen to it, Joe?
I don't think so, but
you've heard it, haven't you, Chad?
I've heard it, and
Yeah.
I check their website frequently, and so I see more of it on the website than I hear on the radio. But
So I sent these guys an email 5 years ago, and they never responded. I'm going to try and hit them up again. But the point I'm trying to make there is if we could get these outdoor radio shows to give a public announcement about Hunters for Access group, and these are who you need to contact, get the word out there. The more volunteers we get, the more we can work on fundraising, the more, and another thought I've always had was to, like when you told me that the boot company Schnees and, what was the other one? Mystery Ranch gave you some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is so, I mean, all of these, I don't know, what do they call in Bozeman now? The Silicon Valley of hunting. Just about everybody's based out of there.
Yep.
And it's like, it's important. If these people want to continue to sell their product, they need to put some energy into public access. And because there's more of us seeking out public access, I think, than there are people with gobs of money buying access. And getting the word out is important.
Any other closing thoughts?
The volunteers will come, because I think we've got 30 some volunteers.
Wow,
that's
that
awesome.
have signed up to be volunteers. Now, their engagement's not that great, but that they've offered to volunteers says something, I think. And so we've reached out to them about their volunteer activity, just helping us with financial support for some of those appreciation dinners we do. And we get checks. and they go on the website and they make contributions. So it does work. I think it just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. It's easy to get kind of disappointed because people say they're going to help and then they don't. And there's a lot of apathy and all that. And that's something that's every organization has to deal with. Like these big nonprofits, if you go on their websites and look at their calendar of events, like Ducks Unlimited, Turkey Federation, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, there will not be one volunteer opportunity listed with these nonprofits, most of them. It's all bingo nights or ladies' nights or golf outings or shoots or hunts. It's the picture that emerges is it's very difficult to get people to volunteer their time for a nonprofit like this. So we're very different in that we're trying to cater, we're trying to attract an especially committed group of people. And we just got to trust the process. We got to trust that it's just a matter of time. We got to find people that care enough about the future of public access and having places for their kids to go that people start to, sign up and be committed and follow through. And I feel really comfortable operating in this space, trying to do just that. I hope you all do too. And just the fact that we've all found each other, man, is really encouraging to me. So
I feel like it's a forgotten space down here. Like any volunteer thing that's down here in Wyoming is all like animal or habitat related. And I'm like, okay, that matters, but not if you don't have access to go there and hunt,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So. All right, fellas, with that, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much for what you do to support public access.
You bet, guys.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for getting this going.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Thanks, guys.